Simon Harris will also be live in studio.
In business, after a night of volatile trading on Asian markets and steep falls on global stocks yesterday, all eyes are on Europe as trading begins.
In sport, the big golf event in the US abandoned after round one, and England's Premier League may shut down as Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta and Chelsea winger Callum Hudson-Odoi test positive for coronavirus.
It's 8 o'clock. You're listening to Morning Ireland with Audrey Carville and Brian Dobson. The news is read now by Jan O'Connell.
As sweeping measures are being put in place to tackle COVID-19, it's emerged that the Health Service Executive has been asked to identify around 10,000 beds in various locations for people who become infected. The request is contained in documents seen by RTE News. It's part of contingency planning for a potential worst-case scenario, but which officials are hoping to avoid. Our health correspondent, Fergal Bowers.
The locations for beds would include existing health facilities, student accommodation, hotel rooms, military and other sites. The beds would be used for treatment according to the HSE. Staffing these beds will be done through redeployment and also calling on retired health staff. Health authorities are hoping these measures may not be needed as a result of the decisions announced yesterday. Ireland is now in the delay phase. The National Public Health Emergency Team says the delay phase measures may result in 200 people a week catching the virus over 5 weeks, rather than 500 people a week catching the virus over 2 weeks. The aim is to help the health system and society cope better over an extended time frame. Doctors have also emphasised that most cases of COVID-19 are mild to moderate, and that the vast majority of people will recover, but a special focus will be needed on vulnerable people, including those with certain conditions and people over 50 years of age.
Schools, creches, childcare facilities and higher education institutions are closing today as part of the raft of measures being put in place aimed at controlling the spread of COVID-19. The restrictions are among several announced by the government yesterday. The pandemic has also resulted in either the cancellation or curtailment of cultural, religious, sporting, entertainment and social events and gatherings. Last night, the Taoiseach Simon Coveney said much more testing for coronavirus would be conducted around the country soon. The Cabinet Subcommittee on COVID-19 will meet at midday. Special policing plans in response to the impact of coronavirus will be announced by the Garda Commissioner Drew Harris today. The Commissioner will brief representatives of the Garda Representative Association on the plan later this morning. Our crime correspondent, Paul Reynolds.
The Gardaí have set up a national coordination centre and are due to announce their policing plan in response to the coronavirus. Extra Gardaí are to be deployed around businesses, such as supermarkets and chemists, to provide reassurance to the public and support to business. Changes are also being made to the Garda roster, and overtime will be available to cover the costs of additional policing. Trainee Gardaí are to be taken from Templemore and utilised as part of special high-visibility policing patrols. The Garda College in Templemore is also to be made available as a medical facility for the Midlands in the event of large numbers of people requiring treatment for the coronavirus. The Garda Commissioner is due to meet the Garda Representative Associations later this morning to brief them before announcing the policing plan.
In other news, the findings of an inquiry into a green energy scheme that triggered the collapse.
It's a beautifully misty morning, and previous shots out the front across the Kilronan mountain, you can just see that the mountain is no longer there. It's disappeared into the mist. Primroses are in full bloom, and if you look, just rising behind the primroses is a little fairy thorn. You see, the birds are spreading seeds everywhere now. I love the way the Aquilegia just self-seeds in little sheltered areas, like here, beside this big pot of cordyline. That's dogwood, lime green dogwood, and behind it, willow, beautiful golden willow. Twisted willow. How beautiful is that? Purple beech. Such a beautiful tree. And laurel, so protective. Petunia, red robin. Mosses and lichens. The flowering currant. And the apple orchard. So, a very short mini rant here. According to governments across the world, I think it started with the Australian government, damn them. I am now classified as elderly, okay? Over 60, now elderly. Not elderly enough to receive a pension though. Yes. I'm feeling very unhappy about this. I think it's name calling actually. How dare they describe me as elderly? I mean, I wouldn't mind if elderly came with benefits, but what benefits have I got? You know, they've just name called me with no benefits. Yeah, feeling very unhappy about this. But anyway, it's a beautiful morning. Look, mist everywhere. I think the sun's going to be burning its way through that mist. And this elderly woman is going to start on the chaos of the barn. Look at that. Is this a job for an elderly woman, I ask you? Honestly, do you know, Western governments and media are just so, I don't know. I haven't got words to describe them. Everyone's got to have a tag, you know? And like, if you call people elderly, they're going to start acting elderly because there's something about, you know, putting tags on people, putting names on people, and they respond like that. Anyway, I refuse to accept it. comments below, please. I want to see lots of angry women and men saying, elderly, how dare they? How dare they? I mean, I wouldn't mind, but watching Boris Johnson on the media last night, you know, saying that his advice is, if you have a cough or a cold, stay indoors for 7 days, and if you're elderly, don't go on a cruise. Chance would be a fine thing. Yeah, I'd like to name call him now. I'd like to say, Boris, you're an Egypt. A complete and utter Egypt. And you should be in the circus with a great big pair of flappy shoes and a red nose. Elderly, indeed. I resent that remark. Well, here I am in the lodge, or the studio, as I now call it, and I've lit the stove because it's just a very damp morning out there. Now don't know if you can hear that wee sound in the background, but that's my electric meter telling me that I need to top up with another €20. It's a pay-as-you-go thing, you know. If you ain't got the money, you ain't got the lecky. And am I bothered? No, of course not. So, I put the little heater on here, which is probably why the little box is making that silly noise. It'll go off in a moment and then come back on again and annoy me until I top up. But I'm going to switch this off now because, there we go. That was just to kind of get the warmth started in here. But my little bits of wood, and you can see they're just little bits of wood in there, is, let me just open it up and I'll show you. There we go, look at that, all those little bits of wood. Oh, what a lovely heat. So that's going to heat the place up because I'm going to be sort of in and out of here all day because I'm going to the recycling centre, as I said before, so all this rubbish out here is going to be packed into my tiny car and I'll be sort of doing some little runs backwards and forwards to the recycling centre. So I'll be working out there in the barn, and then it's just good to have one really warm place to come into, you know, just to kind of warm my bones up again, being an elderly person. Sorry, I can't get my head round that one. No, I resent that remark. I reject that remark. And you know, Boris Johnson and you know, all these world leaders, okay, who are dealing in mostly very inept ways with this coronavirus, this COVID-19, are just so full of BS. I'm not going to say the word because, you know, although I mark my videos as not for children, I know a lot of people sit with their children and watch my videos. And, but you know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from. You know what I'm getting at. And I've often said in the past, do not pay any attention to governments and politicians, because the only people they care about are themselves and their mates. And not just any old mate, but mates with money, mates with influence, mates with power, corporate mates. So I think the Irish government is responding in a relatively caring way to this crisis, because they have, told people to basically stay at home. And because this is a republic as well, we do have a written constitution, which of course is different from the UK that doesn't have a written constitution. So I think the government is a little bit more on its toes within a republic. That's been my general perception, and kind of comparing notes with other countries. So a lot of people are saying, here in Ireland, well, this is a good time now to, do a bit of a declutter around the house, tidy up the garden, get things done, make the most of it. And that's precisely what I'm doing. And myself and the boy here will be going out for, far too many words, Jack. Okay, we'll be going out for you-know-what, begins with W. I can't even spell it now because he knows how to spell it. Later on, and because that's a good thing to do, go out in the open air, go for a walk, wrap up warm, and I've got some more spinach soup left. I'll be having some of that, building up my energy, and I'll be doing a little bit of cooking later on. I'll be filling my cauldron of plenty and doing my post later on. Now I'll be posting off basically anyone who's ordered any books or maps or calendars over the past 2 days. I'll be doing the post at about 3 o'clock today. So anyone else who wants to make an order or anything, if it's done before 3 o'clock, it'll be posted today. The post is still fine. I mean, that's not an issue at all within this crisis. Postal services continue. And, everything is good there. So, I think this is going to be my final little video. I've done a few little videos here, putting them all up onto this one film that I'll be putting out, this one video. I'm delighted that you're enjoying my take on these videos, which is a combination of the new and the tried and tested old. And remember, old is good. Am I bothered? No, I'm not bothered at all. So, we shall sally forth into the mist, to the barn, and get some work done. Blessings to you all, my friends. Jack says, I don't want to go out, Mum. Oh, hang on, he does.